Okay, I think this is going to be the last one. I apologize, it's a little lengthy, but I just want to make sure that they're all covering everything that you might have questions on. So I'm trying to help you out here, I promise. Alright, so we actually finished going through all of this, so hopefully I clarified everything that you need to do this. Here's an example site, you can check that out. Those are just some things. Notice that it does have these sidebars and pictures and stuff. Did I include pictures? No, but that's okay. Alright, so how am I going to grade you? So the first thing for 10 points is making sure you have everything in this checklist. I'm going to basically make sure you have it. If you don't, you lose points. Appearance and background color, making sure the text is good and well thought out. So what you can do is actually you can change some of the features of your website, like the text background and whatnot. Let me show you how to do that. Nope. There we go. We're back here. So say you don't like this color, this font, any of this stuff. Maybe it's hard to read. Go to More. And then you're going to go to Manage Site. Okay? When you go to Manage Site, notice that you can even change your site name. I'm not going to do this because I want it to be, more appropriate. Physics 103, linear motion. And then you can give a purpose, an additional learning tool for linear motion, which is basically the point and purpose of this website. And that's good so far. But I like saving frequently, so let's save it. Alright, so we want to change the colors. We go to this bottom link down here, themes, colors, and fonts. So notice that I changed the title, and notice that it changed up here. So I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but you'll notice that they do exactly what they say. So if I want the entire page background to be, right now I have it as white, but I can make it super dark red. But this is hard to read, so that's why you might lose points, is if you chose this color to do that. So that's what I mean. So making sure things are easy to read. And then the text. I think the font size actually is too small. I would like to go with a larger text in general. Yes, that's much better. So there you go. Link colors. I like purple. Make your purple link colors. And visited link colors, I'll make them light blue. Yeah. See, again, the colors are not so nice. So maybe you could do red. I don't like red. Well, anyway, you can play around with it. So the site header, you can even put, an image in the back if you want. You can play around with this. Again, you could put a color. Right now I have this light blue. Let's make the color, let's make it jump out. Let's make the title big. Yeah. And then again, you could change the color. It hurts the eyes. It's not too bad, actually. Can I go like orangey? I like orange. Let's go to purple. Yeah, I like that. That looks awesome. Okay, so you can also change the entire page is font. I like the font that I chose, but you have hundreds of fonts to choose from. I'll change it to this just to be different. Now you can browse more themes. You can get themes and stuff. I'm going to save this first. I actually don't recommend that you do this because usually it just throws links at you and then you have all these links and you don't know how to get rid of them. You can, but again, I don't recommend doing this. I think just changing it and fixing it the way you want is the best. So that's how you can change everything. You can change your sidebar, gadget, content area, headers. Yeah, so you can go through this. I'm not going to go through this. You can also change the basic theme There's tons of things to choose from to get a basis. Again, so I'll save that. So there you go. Don't worry about any of this other stuff. You don't really need it. So, and then when you're done, you press save, 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 and you press that button to go back to your main site. And the way you have it. Okay, so that was appearance. How you can change that. Content, making sure that if you chose linear motion, it's about linear motion. Again, don't worry about about your medical part, which I'll go over. That's not going to be included. I can know it could be separate. Making sure your website is, it's meant to teach, so making sure it's helpful. It's something you would recommend for others to use. In fact, I'm just going to, show these as examples for the next course. So make sure they're, useful. And that's what this part is. Design, making sure everything is good, pleasing to the eye. Google Sites is really good. It's pretty easy. It's laid out well. So as long as you're using the space well, meaning that you don't have like these awkward blank spots in the middle of your website. Let's see if I have anything awkward. Well, obviously, if you put a link here, nothing in there, that's points off. It's awkward space, I'm trying to think of anything else that was. Yeah, that's a little weird. Click to run. If I could fix that, I think my acceleration that came out really. No, it was free fall. Free fall came out really nice. So notice free fall. Free fall is really nice. You got a little visual here, something nice. I could fix the space. It flows. It works out well. And the demonstrations, look how nice and organized that is. Using the horizontal lines really helps. So that's what I mean when it comes to design. Of course, creativity. I want you to try to do something different. Although you may use my examples, they're not as creative as finding your own. So that's what it means to be creative, is doing something that is unique. Of course, making sure your spelling errors and grammatical errors are corrected. Google's nice in that it will actually, help with the grammatical errors in terms of spelling. And then lastly, if you used anything that is not yours, you must give credit to it. So, for example, I use this from physics. Physics Classroom. And let's keep things, for pictures and stuff, you can keep things very simple. Courtesy of Physics Classroom. Just acknowledge them. Now, say, notice that I wrote this basically all from my head, but if you didn't write anything from your head, you must cite it. So pretend this is, something that I took from somewhere else. At the bottom of the page, just make your reference and make it in MLA format. Whatever your reference is. So if it's not yours, definitely cite it. And that goes for just about everything. And you can just say courtesy. Courtney. Courtesy. There you go. Courtesy of Physics Classroom. And you can just put a source link. But just being careful with that. And that does make up 100 points. So what I'm really mostly grading is the structure for the most part of your website, where the OR presentation rubric is the content. So that's the difference. So let me talk about the last thing, which is the medical device part. Okay, I just jumped over here just to show you the last part, which is the medical device. And like I said, due to the nature of the situation that we have, don't worry if it has nothing to do with your topic. That's fine. I just want you to include it. And what I'd like you to do is, create a page, go to edit, And I'd basically like you to answer these 3 questions. By 3, I mean 6. So these are questions I'd like you to answer and on your site. So what was your technology device right here? So more or less I'd like you to define and explain what it is. Why did you choose this topic? You know, what made you choose your device? This is your personal opinion about this. What information did you know prior to this? Again, personal opinion. So just tell me a little bit about your background in this. It's okay to have no background knowledge, and that's fine. Also, coming back to this, you know, it'd be useful to use photos, diagrams, anything to explain it nicely. Because some of us don't know a lot about the device, so it's really good to have visuals or videos or anything to describe this. So this is the meat of your content page here, your ultrasound or whatever device. You know, what did you learn? Again, this is another personal opinion. You know, what did you learn from this? Just talk about it. What did you know before, and then what you learned. These can be like the same kind of idea. And then make a connection to physics. So if you do, you know, for example, ultrasound, you know, you can say more or less in physics class we learned about sound waves, and talk about what you learned about sound waves and how they connect to the ultrasound. So that's what I mean. It doesn't have to be long, it just has to be enough to explain it. And then lastly, I expect that you're going to be visiting sites and looking at information. I'd like you to source, you know, cite your resource. Works cited at the bottom with 3 resources in MOA format. It looks professional when you do that, and it's also appropriate. So that's what I mean when it comes down to doing this section of your project. So, you know, if you Google some sites, diagram of ultrasound, sound machine. You might get some really cool images. I'm sure some graphic images too. But you know, whatever is useful, of course. It's pretty neat to see, you know, how these things work. So images or ultrasound machine. Talk about it. Some cartoons, some visuals. And then of course you can talk about sound waves. And very cool. So, I hope I've answered all of your questions in terms of what you need to do. I'm going to post the link to this website so you can see all the stuff that I did, what I added and whatnot to it as well. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I think there was one more thing I could show you a little bit, is edit site layout. And this is if you want to customize some things like your site header. Notice that if you click it, it goes away. I actually like the site header, so I'll keep it in. You could do horizontal navigation. You could actually put links over here. And if you click on it, you can add more stuff, add pages. You can even, you know, for example, you can add, you know, cool science. Press OK. And that adds that feature right here. I got 30 seconds left. You can add, you know, a footer if you want, and you can edit the sidebar. You can take it away or add it in, keep it in for the most part, but that's the last thing I'll show you. I hope this was useful, and please email me with questions. Have a nice evening.